We're picking up here in the Psalms, and that word that's a plural that's talking about the whole book because it's 150 psalms or songs. This comes from the Greek word that means songs. So one of my pet peeves is if you want to help me along here, do not say Psalms 1. It would be like saying songs 1. Say Psalm 1. Just a pet peeve. So anyway, each one is an individual song that was essentially a Hebrew prayer and praise book, but it was also used in the early church. And this was kind of their hymnal. I know in the early Jesus movement, or late Jesus movement, I got in actually, we used a lot of the Psalms, a lot of the Bible in general, just people wrote music to it, and we just sang out of the Bible, which was wonderful because it helps you memorize the Bible also. It's written by several authors over a long period of time. 73 of the Psalms are attributed to David directly. 49 are attributed to Anonymous, whoever he might be, which, let me tell you this little story. When I was hosting the Ask the Pastor program on TCT one day, and I'd never done this before, and they were bringing up questions from people, and it'd tell you the person's name and where they were from, and I got this one, and it said they were from Texas, and her name was Anon. Well, you get a lot of strange names that come up, and I thought, Anon. Well, the next one I got, it says from Delaware, and it's from Anon. And then I realized the people taking the message were writing down Anon for anonymous. And anyway, it wasn't just a strange name, it was anonymous. Anyway, 49 of the Psalms are anonymous. 12 are attributed to Asaph, 12 to the sons of Korah, 2 to Solomon, 1 to Moses, and 1 to Ethan. So that's what we know about authorship, but there's a lot of them we just don't know. 49 is quite a bit. And there's divisions in the Psalms. They're broken up into 5 different books in all. And there's some subdivisions, such as the songs of degrees or songs of ascent. That's Psalm 120 through 134. And those were sung as they ascended on 3 times a year. All of Israel was supposed to come back to Jerusalem, and they were to ascend into Jerusalem. And as they ascended up the hill into Jerusalem, they sang these songs of ascents, or songs of degrees. And they got degrees up the mountain, up to the mountain location there in Jerusalem. So these were traditionally sung during that pilgrimage during the feast days. So just looking at some of them in general, we can't go through every one of them, but we'll give some characteristics. Psalm 119 is the longest psalm. It's 176 verses. And so if you're reading like a psalm a day, when you do that one, it's going to be a little longer day. It's divided into sections. It's a very unique song. It's divided into sections of 8 verses. And each verse of each section starts with the same Hebrew letter. So all of the first 8 verses start with Aleph, and the whole section starts with Aleph. They're basically their A letter, and it goes through the whole Hebrew alphabet like that. Each section is divided into 8 verses, and each verse in that section starts with the same Hebrew letter, all the way from Aleph to Tau. So the whole Hebrew alphabet is covered in that one psalm like that. So it's an amazing way that whole thing's put together, and still communicates a very, very coherent message. It's not like it was just, we've got to rig this up to use that letter and then it doesn't say anything. It's a very coherent message in every one of those. I haven't counted, but somebody else wrote that out of the 283 New Testament quotes from the Old Testament, 116 of them are from the Psalms. So quite a few quotes in the New Testament come out of this one book. The Psalms cover many topics. What I love about it is just the raw emotion. Why do the wicked prosper? You've ever thought that? Why are those people doing so well? They're not even following God. I'm trying to follow God. I'm struggling like crazy. David would write things like that. He's hiding in caves and running from Saul, and he's already been anointed king, and he's like, why are the wicked prospering? God, where are you? And so the raw emotion of the Psalms is really a wonderful book to go to, in any situation. But I know when I'd be struggling sometimes just with emotion, don't know why I'm struggling, whatever. I just get out and start reading the Psalms. I just read them until I felt better. I just keep reading and reading and reading. And a lot of them will start out with complaints like, Lord, why aren't you hearing my prayer? Or why are the wicked prospering? Why is this going on? And then by the end, in almost all the Psalms, except for maybe one, the psalmist is resolved, says, well, as I look around, I understand the wicked are going to perish. The righteous are going to stand. God is, going to vindicate his people, and etc. So there's usually a resolution to it, but it starts out with all this raw emotion. Psalms are very well. They ultimately present to us the power and providence of God is emphasized in the Psalms. You see how he can change any situation, and then you see how he oversees all these situations, that we have no idea that he's working. Even when we can't see it, he's working. We sing that song sometimes, and he really is, and we don't see it, but the Psalms kind of emphasize the power and providence of God. They're very comforting, and they're also very prophetic in places. There's some that we call messianic psalms about the Messiah coming. Psalm 22 and 69 are two of those, and they prophesy about the casting of lots for his clothes and his eating vinegar. They're trying to give him vinegar or gall for something to drink on the cross, and those kind of things are prophesied in those psalms. And even prophecies that are statements, like in I think it's Psalm 83. We might look at that as we go along. There's a story about how those nations that are surrounding Israel want to drive them into the sea, how they want to eliminate them as being a people. And it's the same spirit, actually upon the same land masses that it is today, with that same kind of spirit. So it's interesting, some of those things are stated are prophetic in just their history even. They told of what was happening at that time, and they also tell of what's going to be happening in the future. The variety makes the Psalms a good place to go, whether you're thankful or whining. There's something for everyone. you can be in a real point of thankfulness, all what God's doing, and Psalms are a wonderful place to read, or you could be whining about everything, and it's a good place to go. You can hear some of the psalmists begin to whine, and then you whine with them for a while, and then you get it resolved. So, wonderful place to go for about any state of mind you might be in. Okay, as we go through the Psalms, through just kind of covering overview of the book itself, we're not going to look at every one of the Psalms, but I do want to start with Psalm 1 and just look at that. If you're going to memorize something, this is a wonderful chapter to memorize. It's 6 verses long. It's got incredible counsel in it, and it's got incredible promises in it. In fact, this has the secret of success buried in it. And if you want the secret to success, it's right here in this psalm. It starts out, it says, "How blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, nor stand in the path of sinners, nor sit in the seat of scoffers." So it's saying your company, who you keep company with, and who you listen to makes a difference. You're blessed if you don't walk in the counsel of the wicked, or stand in the path of sinners, or sit in the seat of the scoffers. And I know that I have a notorious nephew that used this verse on one of his religion professors when he was in college, saying, "I don't know if I should even be sitting here listening to you because of Psalm 1," because he was kind of a scoffer in the religion department. But anyway, it says, "But that one's delight is in the law of the Lord. In his law he meditates day and night." And then it gives the promise. "He will be like a tree firmly planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in its season. Its leaf does not wither, and in whatever he does, he prospers." Wow. There's the message. The message of success, the message of how to prosper or be successful is you meditate in the Word of God day and night. Now, not many people have taken that challenge and done that, but it's right there. It says, "The wicked are not so, but they're like the chaff that the wind drives away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous, for the Lord knows the way." It just doesn't mean he has knowledge about it, but he knows, he identifies with the way, he relates with the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. So what a wonderful passage to memorize, meditate on, continue to go through that, and even in the meditation on it, of going over and over again, it gives a promise that if you do that, in whatever you do, you're going to prosper. So what a place to start as we look into the book of Psalms.